Hello everybody, this is Kyrex, and I'm here to welcome you to the start of my latest Let's Play. This is XCOM, the remake... bad kitty. The remake of the classic, beloved alien fighting game. It's a turn-based strategy, or tactics. I think it's actually a tactics game, given the grid on that. And I was a little skeptical with the remake of this, because I was such a huge fan of the original. And at first, it took a little bit to win me over, about an hour or so, because in XCOM I was used to having squads of up to 30 people. And in this game, I max out at 6, and I have to buy 2 of those. Bless you, kitty. But this game has more than... Sure, we'll show subtitles. This game has more than proven itself to me. And I'm extremely fond of it, and I'm very much looking forward to this. Now, the downside is I'm pretty sure I have to do the tutorial. Something I do not want to do. Oh, good, I can turn the tutorial off. The reason I don't want to do the tutorial is the tutorial's first mission involves 4 XCOM agents, 3 of which die. As in, you have no control over it, they die. And it's never good to start with 3 dead agents, you know? It's just not a good thing. I will be doing easy, or not easy, I will be doing normal. I'm not going to go with classic. Do I want to? You know what? No guts, no glory. We're going to see how far I can get in Ironman. Now, the downside to this is, it may be that I get into an unwinnable situation, as in I literally can't win. If that's the case, then this Let's Play will have a very bad conclusion. But I'd like to think I'm better than that. So, without further ado, let's begin. Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Arthur C. Clarke. You will frequently be seeing machines like this throughout the game. But they don't play any actual game relevance. Ooh, not a good way to go.
In light of the recent extraterrestrial incursion, this Council of Nations has convened to approve the activation of the XCOM project. You have been chosen to lead this initiative, to oversee our first and last line of defense. Your efforts will have considerable influence on this planet's future. We urge you to keep that in mind as you proceed. Good luck, Commander.
Now, there are a few drastic changes between this game and the previous ones. First off, you'll recall that he referred to me as Commander. In the original XCOM, if you had enough soldiers and enough high-ranking ones, one of them could reach the rank of Commander, and he would be the highest-ranking soldier. In this, I am the Commander, and I'm the only one. My soldiers can only retain the rank of Colonel. Now, it's telling me to choose my base. What happens is, when you have full satellite deployment over a continent, you get the following abilities. Air and Space for North America, where all aircraft and weapons cost 50% less to produce, build, and maintain. Europe gives me Expert Knowledge, where laboratories and workshop cost less to build and maintain. Asia, Future Combat. All projects in the Foundry and the Officer Training School cost 50% less. South Africa, we have ways. Autopsies and interrogations are completed instantly. And Africa, all in, where my monthly funding is increased by 30%. As I said, I get these abilities with full satellite coverage, but I also get the ability of where I choose my base. Now, I will choose Africa, both for the ability and because in the original XCOM, where distance actually mattered, I always chose Africa because it gave me the best coverage. So, we're based in Africa.
Listen
Now,
up. We're going to be dropping you deep in the Nigerian interior for the next operation. We've picked up a local broadcast indicating alien activity within a major metropolitan area. We should get down there and eliminate any hostiles.
every single one of these missions is given a randomly generated name. This is Operation Unceasing Sleep. Let's kick this off. Now, I have a fairly conservative approach towards this. It's slow and a little ponderous, but it tends to get most, if not all, of my soldiers home alive. And that's a big thing for me.
Strike one. This is Central.
Now,
you are free to engage all hostile contacts in the AO. Don't take any chances.
I'll try to explain some of these as I go along. You see that shield? That demonstrates that he is now in cover. In this case, full cover. This half shield is half cover, which adds 20 to my defense, full adding 40, but only from the direction I have cover in. And being out in the open is stupid, so I'm not going to do that if I can avoid it.
Roger, I've got eyes on.
Now, I just put her into Overwatch. What that means is if she sees anything in her range that moves, she will shoot it. Now, all of my people have the following armament. They're all armed with an assault rifle, a pistol, and a grenade. This is the standard loadout for rookies. All rookies have this. As they get promoted to squatty and higher, they gain a specialty. Those specialties are assault, support, sniper, and heavy. And once they hit, I want to say sergeant, they also get a call sign, which makes them much easier to bond with and identify because you have a name to call them. For example, it's much easier to get attached. I had a support officer who was a medic named Prophet, and he was just excellent. And one day he just didn't come back from the mission, and it just tore me up because he was one of my best soldiers.
Life on Earth. We're witnessing something never before seen in recorded history.
Now, there is an aim penalty to reaction shots given by Overwatch. Plus, there's a percentage to hit. And that is a low percentage, but I'm going to take the shot anyway. See? Nothing. And now, here...
I'm on it, Commander.
Only 45, but still doable. A lot of times when it's a kill shot, they'll zoom in for a rather dramatic look, you know. Now, that one there is just mind-linked with the other one. If I can kill the one forming the mind link, they both die. Okay, that soldier just took a hit. He's now wounded. Armor gives your soldier some extra padding, so to speak. And within that extra padding, they have sort of a grace period where they won't be wounded. Like if my armor adds 5 extra hit points, they can take 5 hit points without being considered wounded. Now my goal is that little jerk in the back there. If at all possible, I'm going to kill him.
Aye, aye.
Because that will kill the other one as well. See, like that zoom there? That's a kill shot. And that is a double kill. Now these little aliens are called sectoids.
Self-destruct when the operator dies. We should look closely for any fragments that could be salvaged for our own development programs.
Sectoids are the most basic unit they really have to offer. They're the least threatening initially. Later on, there's a more powerful sort of sectoid that is anything but simple to beat. Sectoids, of course, are the typical gray aliens that most alien fanatics insist they see, you know? Now, to go off on a tangent, that quote by Arthur C. Clarke, the "either we're alone or we're not," basically represents the dark opinion of what extraterrestrial contact would really be. I think it's Stephen Hawking who basically insists that we should hope fervently that we are alone in the universe, because it's, in our experience, every single time a more advanced culture meets a less advanced one, it doesn't end well for the less advanced culture, in this case, us. But of course, there's the optimistic crowd that believes that any race advanced enough to have this sort of technology would be inherently peaceful. Which I suppose is a possibility. More likely, they would be just so alien to our way of thinking that we'd even have trouble comprehending each other.
Affirmative.
I mean,
Commander.
think for a moment, I'll just use this as an example, and I hope I'm not being overly stereotypical. Think for a moment how the typical American is, where we're basically given a blank check on life. We can be whatever we have the methods to be. I mean, I sit here on YouTube, but it's entirely possible that were I to apply myself, I could become a restaurant owner, or I could become a doctor, or a scientist, or an astronaut. If I were politically inclined, I could run for Congress. But if you go into a place like India, at least the India of the past, where they had the castes, what you were was set in stone pretty much from birth. Your caste is a beggar, or your caste is, say, a baker. You're a baker, period. You have no say in the matter. And woe be those who happen to be one of the untouchable castes. You just have no rights at all, and no one will ever do anything for you. And I think in certain parts of India, that system is still very much in place, and to an American, that is completely foreign to our way of thinking. And we're the same species, you know? So imagine what it must be like with an alien. Now, that little sound wave there shows that they hear an alien on the other side of that wall somewhere.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
But nothing more specific than that. Okay, so in this particular case, I'm going to reload. You'll notice the assault rifle is only half blue. That basically is a rough show of how much ammunition I have left.
Heading to that location.
Now, like I said, this is how I work. Basically, I advance slowly, cover each other, and go into Overwatch. Because
Eyes on target.
this allows me to not die as much. Now, when you first expose aliens, they'll run around, but they will only run around, meaning I don't have to worry about fighting any of them.
No way.
Let's go around to this side real quick. And snap into Overwatch.
Affirmative.
And time to take a stupid risk. If this hits, awesome.
He's down.
If it doesn't, I'm kind of screwed. Fortunately for me, it did. That was a gamble that paid off. I had a 6 out of 10 chance, basically
Come get some.
3 in 5 chance that that would hit. I rolled the dice and I won. He was right there!
Flanked.
They're shifting their attack. Cover my flank.
And that's a kill for him.
Down.
And we lost, apparently, one of our Americans. And the whole point of this was to get as few fatalities as possible, and I've already screwed it up.
Aye, aye.
Are you gonna miss too? Not at this range, you aren't.
He's down.
Good work out there, Strike.
And that's the last kill.
Hey, Commander. The labs are on high alert. Teams are standing by for your orders. We can begin researching the newly recovered artifacts immediately.
Now, we go back and we review everything that happened in the mission. All the stuff I brought back, any research I've unlocked, and most importantly, the status of my crew, whether they were promoted, wounded, killed in action, or just made it back. The jet we're flying is called a Sky Ranger. In the original XCOM, it was one of 3 types of ships you could fly in. And I say fly in meaning land troops. There were 2 other kinds of ships that were strictly attack, interceptors and the Firestorm. But the ships you could fly in were the Sky Ranger, the Lightning, and the Avenger.
Commander. I'm Central Officer Bradford. My role in this project is twofold: providing tactical support for our field operations, and keeping you briefed on the current situation. My efforts should allow you to focus on the bigger issues at hand. Speaking of which, we have a soldier waiting for a promotion in the barracks. I'll let you get to it.
Anyway, the Lightning was basically a modified flying saucer. It had 1 weapon, which could be anything, and would carry a ton of troops.
The heavy weapons specialist provides a crucial service to the squad. With the rocket launcher in tow, there are demolitions experts.
Oh wow, the guy who died would have been promoted too if he'd lived.
Commander to the research labs.
Anyway.
The recovered artifacts are being unloaded, and the research team is waiting your orders. We'll get started as soon as you give the order, Commander.
Anyway, the point was that the final one was the Avenger. The Avenger was the best ship. It combined all the firepower of Firestorm with just everything. The idea was it could shoot down UFOs and then land immediately before they had time to repair.
Hello, Commander. My name is Dr. Farlan. I oversee the research labs. This is where all of XCOM's research and development takes place. We have already begun analyzing the artifacts recovered from our first encounter with the aliens. Based on our preliminary findings, we believe we can use them to develop some new equipment for our soldiers. With your approval, we will begin research immediately.
Now, one vast, drastic, immense improvement over the original is, number one, I don't have to stock ammo anymore. In the original XCOM, I would frequently use laser weapons, even though plasma was better, simply because you didn't have to have laser clips, like you did with plasma weapons. You had to have plasma clips. In this, they just have unlimited ammo and you just reload when you need to. Secondly, in the original, if you gave someone a piece of armor and they died, that piece of armor was destroyed, and so was any equipment that they had if you didn't recover it. In this game, it just goes right back into the inventory. Now, I originally, in a practice file, held off on getting this, hoping that it would stall the aliens at a certain development area. And in reality, it just screwed me over because I lost the opportunity to get some of the aliens. So we're going to start with
That does
this.
seem to be the most pressing of our current research options. We'll begin immediately. I will notify you when a complete report is available.
Now, I'm going to go in here.
Ah, Commander. I was wondering when you'd be stopping by. Welcome to engineering. Anything they can dream up in the research labs, we can build it here. Speaking of which, Dr. Valen has just sent us some new schematics. With your approval, we will begin fabrication.
Now, the research lab is where I research all my stuff and unlock certain things. But this is where it gets made. Now, the barracks has the ability to look at my soldiers and reshuffle their equipment. The officer training school is important Basically, as I rank up, I gain abilities that I can buy. And every single one of these is worth having. Then we have the memorial, which shows everyone who's died and how many missions they were on, how many kills they had, what date in-game they died, what mission they died on, and it plays some pretty awesome bagpipe music, apparently. And right now, as you see, it just has pictures. This will eventually become a memorial wall if I don't keep track of people.
Commander to mission control. Commander
Anyway.
to mission control.
And if need be, I can also hire soldiers. Unlike in the original XCOM, I would have to have multiple barracks. This one can hold all the soldiers I need. Okay, next, the hangar. This is something I neglected in the past. First off, this
From here, you
is
can
going
arrange to
here.
have our interceptors transferred to bases throughout the world. By stationing our fleet on various continents, we'll have a much better chance of intercepting new UFO contacts in those areas.
It's important that I have coverage over every single continent. That will become important later. Okay, let's see here.
We've still got some room to grow up here, but if we really want to expand our facilities, we're going to have to start excavating beneath the base. Unfortunately, the deeper we go, the more it's going to cost. Work crews are on their way to begin construction. I'll send word when the new facility is operational.
Anyway, with these facilities, I glossed over it. I'm going to need satellite uplinks to be able to launch satellites. I'll get into what that means later. I have to dig down for my access list and excavate other sites to build more spots. Now, I've covered the barracks, engineering, research, hangar. Oh! No. Okay, let's go to mission control. Now I just scan for activity. This will cause the globe to rotate and time to pass. Huh, apparently time passes normally anyway, but at a very, very ridiculously slow rate. This will basically speed rotate the globe, and all the stuff that's happening will happen faster.
Aircraft transfer complete. Activation operational.
Now, to assign some new construction. See this steam? This will become important in a minute. And as always, I am doing this on my Let's Play special profile for the PlayStation 3, which is what I'm on, by the way, so that I can do this with a clean slate, no special unlocks, all my trophies will be brand new, and whatnot. And now, abduction sites. This part
We've picked up
sucks.
multiple requests for assistance. Abductions in progress are marked on the hologlobe.
Now, there are 3 different zones here. And it tells me what the rank is and what the current panic rank is. I can only pick one of these, and I get either money, scientists, or engineers. The problem is, let's say I take France. France will be happy. India and Canada will go into panic mode. If a country is at panic level 5 at the end of the month, they leave the project. I can lose 7 before I need to really worry. Once I've lost 8, it's game over. I've never gotten to that point in this game, but I have lost 2 or 3. So I need to decide. In this case, I want engineers, and Canada's easier, and yeah, we're going to go with Canada. Now, here's where I could mess around with loadouts. I can tweak abilities if I haven't already. Usually I do. Loadouts. Right now I have nothing, but I can swap the body armor, the weapon, the sidearm, and the special item. Right now, this is all I have. Everyone's using the same thing except for this guy. Because he's a heavy, his loadout is completely different. His weapon is a light machine gun, and his sidearm is a rocket launcher. Heavies are very vulnerable once they run out of ammo. Everyone else can just swap to the pistol, which has unlimited ammo and never depletes. It does paltry damage, but sometimes you only need to hit once or twice, you know? And facing someone with a little pea shooter is better than an empty gun. Period.
We have Visual on the mission site. Setting
So, we're going to Canada to stop some abductions. Now, despite the name, we will not find humans here, just aliens. And probably in this case, just sectoids.
The drop site for this operation will be in Canada. We've picked up a local broadcast indicating alien activity within a major metropolitan area. We should get down there and eliminate any hostiles.
And this is Operation Stonefall. Let's begin. Land the Sky Ranger, deploy the troops. I will be keeping these cutscenes in because, you know. Now,
This is Big Sky. Strike team is touching down.
the first thing to do is get a general feel for the size of the map.
Reading you 5 by 5. Strike 1 has the green light.
That map ends that way. There's a little distance here, so chances are everything's going to be in this general area. Probably inside this structure. Now, see how this says dashing? Basically, if I do this, I give up the rest of my move. I do a double move instead of a move and a shoot or a move and an overwatch. I do not like dashing if I can avoid it.
Roger, I've got eyes on.
Simply because it takes away tactical options that I really don't want taken away. Now, sometimes you just need to shift around to see what your options look like for cover. Never advance out of cover if you can avoid it. I mean, I know that's kind of a given, but sometimes it bears repeating.
Eyes on the prize.
Now, my heavy, who I've lost sight of for the moment, because right now they all look the same, has a rocket launcher, which gives him options that the others don't have. And whoever that is just earned a promotion. And that was a miss.
They're flanking us.
Even though they're missing, this shows why I do Overwatch, you know? Right now they're all rookies, so of course they all suck. But, Mr. Rocket Man over here, he can only fire his rocket launcher if he has not moved yet.
Affirmative.
That's too far to throw grenades, sadly, but I can go into Overwatch because I don't trust my actual aim there.
Got it covered.
Now, if that were another soldier, instead what I would be doing is whipping out the sidearm and hitting him with that. Oops. I also have an option I almost never use called Hunker Down, which just increases my defense. I go full-on defense. I'm just not a full-on defense kind of guy, you know? It's not how I operate, it's not who I am.
On the move.
And again, while I don't like to dash, I do on occasion. Gotta keep your options open. Okay, he's doing an enhance. And he's going into Overwatch, just like I do.
Incoming fire.
And that was nowhere even remotely close. So, let's show off this rocket, shall we? Collateral damage is not an issue here. I can blow up as much stuff as I like. Sometimes you miss. And I don't get in trouble. Okay, I don't trust this, so I'm going to frag him. If I can. There we go. Frag grenades pretty much always land where they're supposed to.
Catch.
I don't know how she threw that through the wall.
You may want to instruct your men to exercise restraint when using explosives. While certainly effective at killing aliens, they also destroy the artifacts we're hoping to recover from the bodies. That's
Restraint?
something to consider.
What is this word restraint you speak of? I do not speak your language. Again, this is me, so I'm going for that person. Or sectoid, rather.
Got it covered.
1 and 4. Yeah, let's go for him. I don't think it's going to be... No, it is a kill. I would rather have gotten the other one, but sometimes you got to take the kill you can get. Though, to be perfectly honest, if this weren't a Let's Play, I would have gone for that one. I would have taken the risk to get 2 of them at once. But this is a recording, I have to look like I know what I'm doing. Which includes not taking stupid risks all the time.
Shot wide.
I'll say the shot was wide.
Aye, aye.
Now, heavies probably have the worst accuracy, but they do make up for it in other things. That's one of them.
Shot failed to connect.
That one may have, but this one won't. Blowing out that wall ripped out his cover and gave me the perfect shot.
Mission accomplished.
Now, one of the abilities a heavy gets later is the ability that if I choose, on my first turn, instead of moving, I can shoot, and then I can shoot again. Which is more than worth it. And now we land the Sky Ranger again. I gotta fight the urge to skip those.
Commander to the Situation Room.
Just like it sounds, the support class provides that intangible edge our squads need. They make everyone around them better.
Supports are an absolute godsend. Number one, support is your medic, period. You can make it not be your medic, but why? You know? You've got 3 other classes that are good at shooting things. You don't need them to shoot things. You need them to heal the people who shoot things. Number 2, when properly leveled, they can hold a second set of items. They can hold a med kit and something else. Number 3, unless you spec them otherwise, they are faster. Plus, they tend to be very accurate with their light rifles.
The assault class serves as our front line. They're the first ones into a fight, and the last ones out.
The assault class is one of my favorites to fight with. Story time. I had a assault class who, at the time, didn't really have a call sign. She was not ranked high enough for that yet. I don't think. But she had an ability where the first... Or actually, no, she did have a call sign. She had 2 abilities. The first reaction shot of any enemy would fail against her. And if you got too close to her, she'd just blast you immediately. And her name was Freestyle. And Freestyle was in an op with a whole bunch of other soldiers. And we were fighting something called a Muton. You'll see those later. They're bad news. And the Mutons destroyed her entire squad, and it was just her. And because of those 2 abilities, Freestyle, gravely wounded, I might add. I mean, she was out for like half a month, just recovering from the injury she sustained from this. She had like 2 units of health left. She managed to take out like 4 or 5 Mutons by herself.
Our
So,
specialize in dealing massive amounts of damage from afar, but without sufficient training, they're vulnerable in close combat situations.
now, up until my practice game, I hated snipers because I could not for the life of me keep them alive. I've gotten better at them since then. Now,
We will be in touch.
if we go over here into the Situation Room, we can
The
see
council is going to want satellite coverage, so we should plan our deployments carefully.
that France and India are not happy with me. And in fact, the continents they are on are also not happy. I will have ways to deal with this, don't you worry.
The new engineers arrived this morning, Commander. We're always glad to have more help down here.
And now we skip ahead. Uh-oh. That was a little unexpected. Okay, let's get us some goodies. Launch Raven 1. Raven 1 is an interceptor, the original class of fighter jets that you get in this game. Both classes of fighters from the originals are present, and I'm not counting the Avenger because that was a transport that just happened to be a very good fighter. The other one we will get into later.
Eyes on the bandit.
This is simple. It gets in close, or it gets in range, fires avalanche missiles, and they just trade shots until one of them dies. Or until the UFO gets away. Come on, come on, come on, hit. There we go. It almost got away. Now, oh, we almost lost the Raven.
This is Voodoo 37. We have a confirmed kill on Bogey 001. I repeat, the UFO is down. I'll copy, over.
Solid copy, Voodoo 37. Nice work. Central out. All right, people. Retask Recon Satellite Bravo and get me a visual on that crash site.
She's coming into range now, sir.
On screen. Magnify. Still in one piece. Commander, I recommend we get a strike team to the crash site immediately.
Now, in the original XCOM, there was the issue that sometimes you didn't have the range. Like, Sky Rangers only had so much fuel, so you had to have multiple bases. Here, the Sky Ranger can circumnavigate the globe. The issue is your interceptors being able to catch the UFOs. You know? And that's why I put interceptors on every single continent, because when I start putting satellites up, they will start picking up UFOs. Now, without further ado, let's send in the Sky Ranger. Now, let's tweak loadouts here a little bit, or show them off. They've got the typical, he's got a sniper rifle and a pistol. Assaults carry shotguns or rifles, and supports just carry rifles. And it looks like our assault was injured. So, don't worry, I'm not going to lose that thing. Before I do anything else, I want a single medkit for my support. I doubt it will be necessary, but, you know. Even though he really can't do as much with it right now, it's worth having. Oh, I'm sorry, she can't do as much with it. Okay, let's launch the mission. Sky Ranger out. Fortunately, in this game, I don't have to worry about things like visibility. In XCOM, the original XCOM, when it was night, it was night. You know?
It looks like the aliens went down in a sparsely populated area. If there are civilians in the area, I hope they stay clear.
Now, with this, it can be dark, but I can still see. But like I said, when it was nighttime in XCOM, you couldn't see anything. It was horrible. The only time I would ever do night missions is if they were terror missions, and I had to do them. Now, your initial sniper can be a very big pain to level. It can be very difficult to rank up a sniper to the first rank. Once you get that first rank, and I don't mean squatty, I mean the first real rank, after they get their faction. Once you get that, things change. But until then, he is very, very vulnerable and only partly useful. Because you see, a sniper cannot run and shoot unless they're using their pistol. Now, originally I used to use Snapshot, which is I could run and use my sniper rifle. I tried Squad Sight, but it required line of sight. I've since found a way around the line of sight problem. Now that I've learned how to use Squad Sight, it is tremendously overpowered. Basically, my original sniper's name was Claymore, and my sniper on the practice game, and he had the most kills of anyone. Even when he was out injured, no one caught up to him. That's how good he was. And I hope to show that off again with this new sniper.
Yes, sir.
You know what? I'm not going to advance that far up. I don't want to risk flushing them yet.
On Overwatch.
See? I thought so. Okay, time to flush them. Nope, not yet.
Roger, Dodger. Roger that.
As long as his flank's not exposed, we should be fine.
Roger that.
Hopefully this doesn't set him off either. Nope, that set him off. Like I said, first turn, all they do is move. So I'm good for a turn. Well, for that turn anyway. Congratulations, you've seen the first panic. Panics can work in your favor, because a lot of times they'll just shoot. This panic is not working in my favor. Okay, so which one's this? This is support. He needs some cover. That'll keep him safe while he calms this crap. Put him in Overwatch, and we just hunker down for this turn. They'll calm down in a minute. Nice shot. It wasn't a kill, but nice shot. Oh, that's why it wasn't a kill. He's enhanced. If he hadn't been enhanced, that would have been a kill. And that was a crit. Oops. Okay, screw it, let's go for this shot. I'm not gonna make it, but let's go for it anyway.
Damn it, missed the target.
Okay, and kill.
On the move.
I think I just blow his cover, if nothing else. Yep, there goes his cover.
Moving out.
I got the shot. I've got the shot.
Bye-bye.
Sometimes it's not about getting the kill right away. It's about taking away the cover so someone else can get the kill. Now, let's patch this idiot up. See, the medkit pays for itself.
You hear that?
Pretty sure I know where that one actually is.
Heading out.
To withstand an impact like that, at such a velocity, the materials used in that vessel's hull must be at least an order of magnitude beyond any element we know of. Our readings can't be right.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought it was.
That's a being of almost pure energy.
Oh, and he's not alone. He's got friends. Interesting. He had friends.
Stepping off.
These boys better earn their frickin' keep. Okay, that was lucky. If he survives this, he's gonna be out next mission. Nope, he's gone. And there goes my sniper. Oh, no, 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 he's alive. He's still alive. I've got another turn. Well, I've got a couple turns, but I only need the one. If I can mop these guys before he fades, then yeah. So, let's get a little reckless.
Double time. Roger that.
Let's hope you live. It's one down. Yeah, I took a gamble that he'd live through that.
Kill confirmed.
There we go. See, that was a calculated and stupid risk, but I didn't have any way to revive my sniper, and I didn't want anyone else dying. So, I opted to take an injury to get a kill. And took a chance that he would live through it, and he did. But pretty much my whole squad's going to be out for the next mission. Unless it takes a while. But I consider that a risk worth taking, because they've likely earned promotions by now, and it would suck to re-promote again, you know? But time will tell. Yeah, 17 days, 12 days, 6 days. But, ooh, bullet swarm, that's a good technique, or a good ability. And you? Okay, we got another support. It kind of sucks. The sniper didn't get promoted. Oh well. I'll make something of it. Now, I've got one last thing to show off, and that is the gray market. This is where I can sell.
Expressed an interest in acquiring
Well, here.
some of the artifacts we've recovered. However, we should be careful in choosing what items we release. The research team may not have discovered their true value yet.
Now, I can sell extras. I'm not going to sell anything that's not researched. I will never sell alloys or weapon fragments. I sold weapon fragments once before, and it ended up biting me in the ass. This, however, is useless, so I will sell it and get money for it. Now, I think that's been enough for the first video. So, this has been Let's Play XCOM with Kyrix. See you next week.